Alright, folks, we've applied glue to both sides, and it's already dried. Now let's move on here. This little white part of the tape, we're going to position it at the end of the presser foot, right here, see? The presser foot. You need to grab it here. We're not going to start sewing right away. Let's first do this step. I'm going to set the machine to 1.5, okay, and I'll pull it through slowly. Look closely, and you will notice that I am intentionally using this particular object as a crucial reference point. Do you see why? The primary reason I am utilizing this as a reference is quite important. On the opposing side, we absolutely need to ensure that the material or object does not extend beyond the boundary of our carefully placed tape. Therefore, to achieve this precise alignment and prevent any overlap, I will carefully and deliberately move it a little bit in this specific direction, adjusting its position incrementally. Now that we have made that initial adjustment, we can proceed to bring this line, which is currently positioned, back into very close proximity with our tape, ensuring a perfect and secure fit. So now I'm going to take this measurement here and align it with this line. I'm going to carefully stretch it out, so just look closely. This particular line has stayed precisely right here, hasn't it? Now, let's meticulously observe how it appears on the other side. Do you notice how significantly far apart it is? So, since it is indeed quite far apart, let's gently and deliberately fold it over to this specific side. So let's just work on this side here. Let's fill in all this space here, up to about here at the top. Up to about 1 centimeter. You don't need to go all the way to the top, because it's too far apart. About 1 centimeter. And I don't recommend you do this here. If we turn it and do this, you can, just don't go over this part here. Remember that this part here that was left separated needs to stay that way, because this is the side we're going to fold. Okay, if you're going to do it this way, here you only go from here up, not from here down. See here how it's a little, right? There's a gap here, so I'm going to take advantage and fill it in. You can do it either way, or by cutting the thread. My advice, especially if you're just starting out, is to cut the thread, because that way you can see the distance you're leaving and you won't end up getting confused and sewing it wrong. In this lower part here, okay, so it's better for you to do it like this, just like I'm doing, filling in this part here. I'm going to fill in here now. Look, it's just this process we're doing here. It's kind of like a nano bead, but it's much stronger. It really holds the hair well, because we're going to fill all of this with stitching. So, the weft stays really secure. Even this little thread won't come out, because our stitching, together with the glue, will hold it in place. And now you just need to fill in this thickness as well. Here is the ideal spot where our adhesive tape will fit this top part. Here, I believe it's not necessary. I could even put a little more thread up here, just to be sure. I'm going to carefully place it right here, yes. And now, let's proceed to meticulously fill in all of this empty space that you can clearly see here, can't you? Let's take a moment to observe precisely where it remains empty and then diligently fill it in, okay? Here, you can certainly proceed quite slowly and deliberately. I think this amount here is already good, but I'm going to fill in this little part here a bit more. Here, I'll turn it as needed. I'm going to add more, as I really want to make it incredibly full and abundant. I'll carefully take it from the middle section, which is consistently the most optimal and best part to utilize for this purpose, ensuring a rich and complete result. Now, at this precise moment, I am going to carefully make a cut right here, specifically in this particular section. I will also proceed to cut this distinct part over here, and then move on to the other screen where we will meticulously perform the exact same operation and steps to ensure consistency and completion. Okay, there are two screens, so let's do the same thing. You just start from here, and just to recap, so you remember why I start from here, it's because I want to know where the distance from the screen is. When it's here, the same distance, it's because this tape was really delayed. Behind this one, here, it turned out fine. Because sometimes we put a strip and it ends up a little higher or lower. So, we need to know which strip is going to leave a gap here. And when it leaves a gap, that's the spot where we're going to fold. So, what happens? Since there are two gaps here, I'm just going to leave a little space right here, right next to this one, and from here up, I'll do it. Like this, observe closely, I am meticulously going to align this particular line with extreme precision, bringing it incredibly close to our designated white tape. My primary objective is to ensure that it absolutely does not extend beyond the boundary of the tape, and I will maintain a constant, vigilant watch over its position throughout this entire process. I'll watch closely because it's best to avoid the line going over our tape. Masking tape, a crucial tool in this process, is applied to secure the area. Now, from this precise starting point, I'm going to meticulously proceed upwards, ensuring a smooth and uninterrupted movement without encountering any significant problems or difficulties. As I previously mentioned, you have the flexibility to execute this particular step in a couple of distinct ways. You can perform it in this straightforward manner, or alternatively, you can achieve the same result by carefully turning the object. However, regardless of the method you choose, it is absolutely imperative to exercise extreme caution and be very careful not to inadvertently place the thread directly on top of the masking tape, as this could compromise the integrity of your work and lead to undesirable outcomes. It doesn't matter how much thread you use, what's important is that everything is filled in. The more closed it is, the better and tighter the finish will be. Now let's put glue on both sides, on one side and the other. Let's clean this up here and then head to the press in the next class. We'll go to the sewing machine so we can do the turning the right way, making sure the adhesive tape is exactly the right size. Alright, now let's apply glue on one side and then the other, and then we'll go to the press and let it set a bit here. And this glue is really liquid, and the container I'm using has a pretty wide opening. So, one slip-up is that it dispenses a lot of glue, but be careful, okay? Make sure the glue doesn't get on the hair. Right here, we almost had an accident. My mesh, oh my God. On one side, notice that the amount of glue I put on didn't come through to the other side. See? You don't even need to squeeze the container. The adhesive glue is really quite liquid. It genuinely needs to be thoroughly and well absorbed, so please do not be stingy with the application of the glue. Break time equals 0.5s/. Let's carefully transfer this adhesive glue, ensuring a smooth and controlled movement, over to the designated other side and securely leave it there for proper setting and adherence. Subsequently, let's proceed to make the other component or section a bit lighter in weight or color, perhaps by removing excess material or applying a lighter shade. This is crucial, right? So that we meticulously avoid creating any kind of mess or unwanted spillage during this delicate process. Let's go ahead and initiate this task. Let's diligently do it. We will proceed little by little, observing with keen attention that the mesh material effectively absorbs the substance, right? This gradual absorption is key to achieving the desired outcome. The hair absorbs a lot of glue. That's truly remarkable and exceptionally beneficial because the adhesive, which is a specialized and meticulously formulated bonding agent, effectively and thoroughly permeates, infiltrates, and saturates all the individual strands and delicate fibers of the hair, ensuring a robust, enduring, and exceptionally strong bond that securely holds everything in its intended position. Furthermore, considering that this particular section of the hair has already undergone the initial and crucial drying phase and is now visibly, tangibly, and reassuringly dry to the touch, as you can clearly and distinctly observe with your own eyes, it's already beginning to exhibit a very promising, aesthetically pleasing, and highly desirable appearance. Indicating successful progress, we simply need to exercise a bit more patience and allow a slightly extended, yet necessary, period for the remaining parts to completely, thoroughly, and uniformly dry, solidifying the entire structure and achieving the desired final result with optimal stability, longevity, and a perfectly finished look. Now let's go to the press. Now we're going to put our mesh in the press. I'm going to turn on the press. My press is heated, so when I turn it on, it starts heating up right away, so I have 9 seconds for it to reach 140 degrees. So I'm going to put it here and press down. There, it already starts counting. It starts counting down. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When it gets to 1, now it's going to start the cooling phase. Now it's cooling down the mesh. When it beeps, because it's already at the, and it's perfect now to remove it. Okay, let's take a look at how our mesh turned out here, and ideally, there shouldn't be these line marks. So what are we going to do? We've done the first coat. Let's apply more glue here until it's super smooth and you can't see those line marks. Now I'm going to do it with the other mesh. I'm going to put it here to center it. There, let's see how our mesh looks. See? It's very flexible, but the finish isn't quite how we want it yet. But now let's apply another coat of glue so our finish turns out perfect. Come with me. And now, let's proceed to turn on our press, allowing it to heat up thoroughly, and then carefully position it right here. All set and perfectly aligned. Look closely now as we carefully proceed to grab the other essential component, the second piece, and meticulously position it right here in this designated spot. It's crafted entirely from pure, unadulterated, and highly durable rubber, ensuring its long-lasting quality and excellent performance. Just look at that. In the next class, we'll move on to the sewing machine and finish up our mesh.